Servicization will be one of the keys to the successful survival of French industrial companies. According to Baines and Lightfoot, servicization can be considered the transformation from simply selling products to selling an integrated combination of products and services that bring value to the customer. For many, it is a managerial innovation, an innovation of an organization's capabilities and processes through the dynamic reconfiguration of its resources. An analysis using the RBV can be very stimulating here, and in addition, it creates a new business model for companies.
These services associated with the products can be classic and basic services such as after-sales service, warranty, maintenance, financing, or training, but they can also include much more complex advanced offerings like component availability, product customization, visibility on stock levels, and more broadly, an expected level of performance. These services are therefore focused on functionality. They therefore involve the design, control, and execution of an offer, a product, and service offer intended for the customer. Servitization should be seen as a continuum between a pure product and a pure service. It is up to the company to position the cursor based on its strategy, its clients, but also its resources and skills.
Organizations are increasingly inclined to modify their value proposition by adding services to their products. Why is servicization increasingly developing? First of all, it allows companies to stand out from the competition. First, by offering services, especially those supported by digitalization, which are unique to them and more difficult to imitate than a product. The service is linked to the company that deploys it. Secondly, by positioning their offer on differentiation rather than on production costs. Then, they increase their margins, which are higher on services than on products. At the same time, this builds customer loyalty, particularly through mobility costs, meaning the costs of changing suppliers. Of course, one leaves the supplier, but one also leaves the service. Finally, the companies meet a real customer need. Their clients can have a very customized offer and refocus on their core business by outsourcing products and services that do not create value. Be careful, as some services can be outsourced and even offshored. For example, call centers or IT support.
In conclusion, we suggest retaining two key elements for a serviced organization. A change appears in the boundaries between the supplier and its client, as the supplier becomes a key element in the client's activities. The supplier thus moves from a subcontractor position to a co-contractor position, from merely renting machine work hours to co-designing and co-producing with the client. Research and development and supply chain management then play an important role. L'ultimo déco ici, the collaboration, trust, and the exchange of information, sometimes confidential, between the supplier and their client become essential elements of a servitized relationship.